Now we'll begin to set up our scene with some environment, lighting and camera. So going over to the side here, we're going to click the Environments tab, and we've got a whole bunch of different environments we can use, and simply by double clicking on any of these we can change the scene and lights dramatically. So we'll just test a few of these out and see what looks and we can get. You can see what lighting best suits our textures. Now we can use HDRI images like this one, and it gives good reflections of the scene around it. You can have it look like your object is in an actual scene. Here's a good one. This makes the brick wall look really good in this light, and it looks like it might just be part of the scene. So as you can see here, the bump mapping is really noticeable in this light, and the red bricks really poke out. So if we click on the Environments tab here, on the right side we can adjust the brightness as we like. Take that back to 1. Also the contrast if we want to. There could be a sunset scene maybe. Now in the transform we can rotate the scene and the lights. Now as you rotate, the lights won't change until you release your mouse button. So I rotate, release, and it changes. So now we can look at the other side. This works for all environment scenes as well. And all the brightness, contrasts, and lights and camera light setups are all made up when you change your environments. You can also change the height, which is something you might not want to play with very often. So we'll just make that back to 0. Put our rotation back to 0. Now the background, you can change the lighting of the environment to use the image or a colour. Just to show an example of that, you change it to red. But we'll go back to lighting environment. These settings here, as long as you've got ground shadows selected, you'll be fine. So let's begin to set up our shot. Now if we go into lighting, we can change the lighting here. You want to use the basic, product, interior and jewellery. You can switch between of those ones. The other two, performance mode and custom, don't worry about, but generally you just keep it on basic. But you can experiment with the different settings. Shadow quality, you want to put this all the way up to 5. You want good shadows. Now the ground illumination you don't want. Self shadows, yes. Global illumination, something you can do if you want to. It's not really needed. It will slow down your rendering times though, if it is turned on. But feel free to experiment and see what looks good for what you want to do though. So now let's create a camera. We have a free camera which is always in the scene. This is the one you can just rotate around and move. So I'm going to create a new camera. We'll rename this. And what we want to do is we can switch between the cameras here. So I've got the shot 1 camera selected. It's unsaved. We're going to save the position and we're going to lock it. Now I can't move the camera at all. I can go back to free camera, rotate that around, and I can just go back and select the other camera again, and it's going to go straight back to that camera. So I'll make a second camera. And I'll choose a different position. Maybe zoom out a little bit. Again, we're going to save that and we're going to lock it. And now I can switch between the two cameras. Now we're going to change the render window. And we're going to go to the presets. Now this is up to you. I will what render setting or frame size that you want. But here we're going to choose the 1920 by 1080. Now notice the width and the height aren't exactly that, but the aspect ratio is the same as the 1920 by 1080. So we'll just check our camera shots again, and we've now discovered that this shot is now too close, so we can unlock that. And we'll zoom out a little bit and just reposition. You can save and lock that camera. And next we will look at rendering our scene.